Hello, all my friends, hello. Hello, all my friends, hello. I got a droopy hat, so let's start the show. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tazzy Reads Stuff, where me, Tazzy, reads stuff. That's what it is. That's all kinds of stuff. And this fellow right here, that's his name. That's Burp. 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 That's his name. What's his last name, Miss Christie?
Excuse me.
What's his last name, Miss Christie?
Excuse me.
What's his last name, Miss Christie?
Excuse me.
His last name is Excuse Me? That's correct. It is Excuse Me. Guess who's here? Miss Christie's here. Say hi, Miss Christie. There you go. Boo-da-boop. So, for those of you that are just tuning in, Miss Christie was here before I was tonight because I called her and said, hey, Miss Christie, can you please get the things ready? I didn't even have to say it that many times. I just said, hey, and you're like, hey, whatever. Auntie Rose wants to know if you have a puppy yet. Yes, that's where I was.
No.
No, I wasn't getting a puppy. I was just saying if Miss Christie goes, really? And then I could go, yeah, we got a puppy. And we'd be like, okay, that's... No puppy yet. No puppy yet at all. No, but I was with Wee Beast in Morden to get his inoculation, his first inoculation.
That's vaccination to the rest of the world.
Or vaccination.
I don't know why you keep choosing, like, inoculation is actually a little bit harder to wrap, like, it's harder to say.
He got his needle. He got his shot. He got his thing in his arm. He got his COVID go away thing. Miss Christie's being difficult.
I'm not. I always think it's funny every time you say it.
I think inoculation's a great word. My button came undone.
The most common way that people have said it a million zillion times in the last year
inoculation.
Is vaccination.
It's inoculation.
And you keep choosing inoculation.
That's because inoculation is a good word. Inoculation. Yasminka, Miss Christie's being silly. Could you please come over and tell her to stop being silly, please?
I don't think that...
She can come over tomorrow, because tomorrow is... we're allowed to have more people over tomorrow.
Oh? How many?
7,744.
I don't think that's right.
5 puppies.
No, that's not right.
I think it's 5. I don't know. We'll find out. We should have a barbecue tomorrow. Want to do hamburgers tomorrow?
Maybe.
Okay. Let's read a book, everybody, because it's called Tazzy Reads Stuff, not Tazzy gets confused by Christy saying inoculation isn't the right thing.
I didn't say it's not the right thing. I just say it's funny that you keep choosing to use that particular word.
What word?
Inoculation.
It's called vaccination, Miss Christie.
Yeah, I know.
There you go. Let's read this book. It's more Seuss. How about that? Let's read some more Seuss. I have never, ever read this book, and this book is going to be too long to read. Yeah, this book's going to be too long to read. This might be a two-parter. So let me pick out another one. I had Trouble in Solace, the movie. Ready, right? King Stilts? Let's see. There's a King Stilts? That's really long, too. Oh, my gosh.
I think there's one book kind of things, right?
No, it's much longer. It's might even a little bit longer. I will read. What will I read?
It's Friday night too, so.
I know. I can look 30 tigers today already, right? Sneeches. If I ran the zoo, here we go. If I ran the zoo, we'll read that. There we go. If I ran the zoo. Thank goodness I'm organized. Hey, everybody. Inoculation. See? It says right there. Maybe she needs a different kind of inoculation. That's right. She needs a word inoculation. Vaccination. Inoculation just sounds cooler. High five test. Good. If I Ran the Zoo by Dr. Seuss. It's a pretty good zoo, said young Okay, so maybe I'll just get a little bit of water, take my brain for a little walk. Oh, okay, I'm back. There, let's try that again. It's a pretty good zoo, said young Gerald McGrew, and the fellow who runs it seems proud of it too. Hello, Liz. Good to see you. But if I ran the zoo, said young Gerald McGrew, there'd be a few things that just what I do. The lions and tigers and that kind of stuff, they have a... I'm having trouble with my eyes. Let's put these on. Uh-oh. What's happening here? Hang on, let me press. There we go. That's better.
Was that the calibration button?
That was the calibration button. Or the fixer, because you don't want to say fancy words. But if I ran the zoo, said young Gerald McGrew, I'd make a few changes. And that's just what I do. The lions and tigers and that kind of stuff, they've been up here now for quite good enough. You see, things like these are just any zoo. They're awfully old-fashioned. I want something new. Look at the lions like, pardon me, hang on, this is my gig here. What are you? I hope you're lying. Okay. That's a good joke right there. It's pretty good.
He sounded like Rolf from the
Okay,
Muppets.
right there. Sit down. Listen, Fozzie, we've had a lot of times there. I'd open each cage and unlock every pen, let the animals go and start over again. And somehow or other, I think I would find some beasts of a much more unusual kind. That does not seem like it's...
And I don't think opening all those cages is a good idea.
No. Is that far enough back?
No, it can go a little further.
Ow. Ow. Miss Christie. Now my glasses are all foggy. There you go. They're still foggy.
You shouldn't have blown on them the way
I
you
wasn't
did.
blown on them there because you pushed my face in there. Miss Christie's not being very kind.
I am being extra kind to you today.
Is your puppies here?
There's no puppies.
Then that's not very kind, is it?
That's no
A
kindness.
4-footed lion is not much of a beast. If in my zoo, they'd have 10 feet at least, 5 legs on the left and 5 more on the right, and then people would stare. They'd say, "Oh, what a sight! This zookeeper, the new keeper, Gerald's quite keen. The goldarniest lion that I've ever seen."
That is the goldarniest lion.
That's right.
That is.
We're gonna have
really
to order
unique.
some. You know, we're gonna have to order some more books. There's some on the back here that we haven't read yet. We're almost out of Zeus books to read. We're gonna have to get back to
You
them.
have longer ones, Tazzy.
Yes, but they're too long.
They're not too long. It's
The
just
new-
all this chit chat in between that keeps them long.
She wants me to say vaxxed instead of inoculation, and she's saying, "Oh, the books aren't too long. Just the words are too long. That's all. The space in between."
It's the
the
stuff
space
in
in
between.
between.
It's
That's
this
right.
stuff here that's
right.
all too long.
It's like I don't mind your ears as the things in between in your head there, right? All my thoughts. My new zoo, the Gru Zoo, would make people talk. The new zoo, Gru Zoo, would make people gawk at the strangest odd tree creatures that did ever walk. I'd get for my zoo a new sort of hen who roosts in another roost top knot, and then another one roosts in the top knot as his, and then another and another in his, and another in his, and so forth, and upward and onward. Gee whiz. What's a top knot, Miss Christie?
It's like hair.
The hair. That's right.
That would be really cool.
That's it, until somebody has an egg. You'd be like, "Look out below!"
It looks like a soft place to have an egg.
Yeah, except for... But that's just a start. I'll tell you, I'd do better than that. I'd see me they'll see me each day in my zookeeper's hat, coming to my zoo with an elephant cat. They'll be so impressed they'll swallow their gum. They'd ask me, what other strange animals may come. Where do you suppose he gets things like that from? His animals have such very odd faces. I bet you he has to hunt them in rather odd places. An elephant cat.
That would be unusual.
That's a great. You know what that would be a cat that doesn't forget, but still, or an elephant that doesn't care.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
the
it
size
hanging on the curtains?
Or the size of the litter box you're gonna need. Like that's gonna be crazy.
That'd be pretty
You're
big.
gonna need a Chevy truck and a snow shovel. That's what you're gonna need. And here's what I'll do," said young Gerald McGrew. "If you want to catch beasts you don't see every way, you're going to have to go places quite out of the way. You have to go places no one else can get to. You have to get cold and you have to get wet too. Now, up past the North Pole where the frozen winds squeal, I'll go and I'll hunt the squeagle with my squeagle-mobile and bring back a family of what would you know? And that's how my new zoo would grow."
guys look like they're having a good time.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna ride in this machine. It's pretty nice. I want to go see the elephant cats. What I want to go see. That's pretty cool.
Probably.
I'd hunt on the mountains of Zomba-ma-Tant with helpers who wear their hats at a slant. There capture a fine fluffy bird named a bustard who only eats custard and sauce made of mustard. And oh, all the fine beasts, they all get flustered and only eats mustard with sauce made of custard. So you get to see. Let me get this there. That's a cool picture right there. I catch 'em in caves and I catch 'em in brooks. I catch 'em in crannies and catch 'em in nooks. And you don't read. That you catch 'em in nooks that you don't read in your geography books. I'd catch them in countries when no one can spell, like the country of Paramafara, a country like that. A hunter is clever. He'll hunt up some of the beasts you've never seen ever.
Let's face it. It's pretty rare for people to read geography books.
That's exactly right.
You know, these places
I don't
probably
need to be any better
exist.
at math. That's why I don't care about geography. I'd load up my boats with a family of yotes, whose feet are like cows but wear squirrel skin coats, and sit down like dogs and have voices like goats, except they can't sing the very high notes. Bah! Then I go down to the wilds of Nantucket and capture a family of lunks in a bucket. Then people will say, no, I like that boy heaps. His new zoo, McGrew is growing by leaps. He captures them wild and captures them meek. He captures them slim and he captures them sleek. What do you suppose he'll capture next week? We don't have the Butter Battle book either. That sounds like that might even be a hard one to say. The Butter Battle book.
Yeah.
I capture one tiny and I capture one cute. I capture a deer no hunter would shoot. A deer that's so nice he could sleep in your bed if it weren't for those horns that he has on his head. Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Those are some horns.
That's it.
Those are fancy. I'd like horns like that.
That would be
It'd
great.
be hard to get through.
I was going to say antlers, but you'd be like, no, Taz, just everybody calls them horns. Don't get your inocular antlers and stuff. Brenda's saying, hi, good evening, Miss Christie. There you go. Alien is here. And speaking of horns, that are just a bit queer, I'll bring back the very odd family of deer. A mother, a father, and two sisters and a brother whose horns are connected from one to the other, whose horns are so mixed up they can't tell them apart, and can't tell where they end or they can't tell where they start. Each deer mighty puzzled, yet he's never found if his horns are hers or the other way round.
That's really pretty.
Nobody can wear hats in that
They
family.
get to hang out a lot together, I bet.
That's it. I would not like that. What? They're all the horns are hearts. Did you see that? This horn is a heart. That's because they love each other.
I would think so.
Yeah.
You'd have to love each other to spend that much time together.
No kidding, hey? I capture them fat and I capture them scrawny. I capture I capture a scraggle-footed mulligatawny, a high-stepping animal fast as the wind from blistering sands of the desert of Zind. This beast is a beast that is brave chieftains ride where they want to go fast and they had to find some place to hide. The mulligatawny is a find for my zoo, and so is the chieftain. I'll bring one back too.
It sounds like a drink. Mulligatawny.
Mulligatawny is a type of soup.
Is it?
Mulligatawny something is a soup.
I was like,
Mulligatawny, bobbidi bippity boppity soup.
sounded
Beedly
like-
boddly biddly bip, biddly boppity boop. I'm awesome. In the far eastern part of southeast North Dakota lives a very fine animal called the iota, but I'll capture one who is much finer in the northeastern part of South Carolina. Now, the people that see him, they'll say, well, now by thunder, that new zoo McGrew is really a wonder. Looks like
That looks like me sometimes.
it does.
Especially in the morning.
Yeah, except for you're smiling. ABK, Miss Christie. Sometimes you have to be kind to the people that are not being kind to you.
Excuse me?
Just saying. Most beasts are quite friendly. Miss Christie, most beasts are quite friendly. Unless the area is misty, and sometimes the beasts are ferocious like Miss Christie.
Sometimes you have to be ferocious.
Rawr. Most beasts are quite friendly, but still in some lands, some beasts are too dangerous to catch with bare hands. For those that are ugly and vicious and mean, I've built a bad animal catching machine. It's rather expensive to build such a kit, but the hunter can never. But with it, a hunter can never get bit.
The machinery might be expensive, but I'm thinking with all of this really interesting stuff, he's going to have a lot of people wanting to come.
Oh, for sure. And by the way, this is just made out of paper, so that's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
A zoo should have bugs. I'll capture a swirl whose legs are snarled up in a terrible snarl. And then I'll go capture some chugs whose keener mean shooter bean shooter but. Then I'll go out and I'll capture some chugs, some keen shooter, mean shooter, bean shooter bugs.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Some keen shooter, mean shooter, bean shooter.
Watch what you say,
Bean shooter bugs.
A keen shooter, bean shooter bugs. Keen shooter, mean shooter bugs. I'll go to African island of Zirkle and bring back a trizzled up, tuffled up merca, who's a kind of canary that's got a tall throat. His neck is so long, if he swallows a note, for breakfast the first day of April, they say, it has to go down a very long way and doesn't get to his stomach till the 15th of May.
That is a really long neck.
Yeah, it's a great long neck right there. I'll bag a big bug who's very surprising. A feller who has a propeller for rising and zooming around making cross-country hops from Texas to Boston with only 2 stops. Now that sort of thing is a bug just for tops. And then I caught him. The next thing you know, I'll go and I'll capture a wild tic-tac-toe with X's that win and the zeros that lose. You'll look mighty good in the zoo of McGrews.
He'd be fun to hang out with. It's like a portable game.
Or hugs and kisses.
Yeah.
I call him Ox.
It's a good plan.
Do you know why?
OX.
I'll bring you a gusset, a gherkin, a gasket, and a gooch from the wild of Nantasket. An 8-person princess will carry the basket, but what their names are, I don't know, so don't ask it. In a cave and cart room lives a beast called a Notch, with no other hunters been able to catch. He's hidden for years in his cave with a pout, and no one's been able to make him come out, but I'll coax him out with a wonderful meal that's cooked by my cooks in my cooker-mobile. We'll fix up a dish that's just to his taste. 3 chicken croquettes and made of library paste, then sprinkled with peanut shucks, pickled and spiced, then baked at 600 degrees, and then, of course, iced. And that mighty cooking to cook up some feasts. That's how the new McGrew zoo gets a fine beast. I'm hungry. Enough for library paste. I love their cooker mobile.
Yeah. I was just thinking that would draw a lot of attention at a
car show.
Well, I was thinking, what are the...
Inoculation? Were you thinking inoculation?
No, but you keep interrupting me, so I can't think. Food trucks.
Oh, yes.
If you had like a whole row of food trucks and that one was there, that would get a lot of attention.
I need a bedtime story. Only 2 stops, not with today's gas prices. Yeah, no kidding. I'll go to faraway mountains of Tobusk, near the river of Nubusk and the back of Ubusk, and that kind of thing. Bobsk. He only eats rhubarb on corn on the copse. Then people will flock to my zoo in mobs. McGrew, they will say, you're doing a wonderful job. He hunts with such vim and vigor. He hunts with some vim and he hunts with some vigor. His new zoo McGrew gets bigger and bigger. It was hard to say that word because it doesn't make sense. It's got the SK at the end.
Obsk. Yeah.
That's it.
Obsk.
Obsk. I'll bring back an obsk. It's a sort of neat kind of thingamabobsk.
Too many consonants, not enough vowels.
Yeah.
All it needs is an I. Obisk.
Oblitz. And speaking of birds, there's a Russian Paluska, whose headski is redski and belly is blueski, and I'll get one of them for my Zewski Magruski.
He's got a fantastic beard.
It's an awesome beard.
That's
how my beard. That's how my beard.
Can you do that?
Touche pas, miss.
Can you do that?
Too bad. Don't.
Can you do
don't.
that? Can you do that? Can you do that? Not quite. It's pretty close though. I think we need a Sharpie just to make it black.
I feel like a cat. They've taken the tail the wrong way to pet him. By the way, that's how my beard looks like if I was skydiving. Then the whole town will gasp, "Why, this boy never sleeps, no keeper before us kept what he keeps, and no telling what the young fellow will do." And then, just to show them, I'll sail it to Katuru and bring back it cuts, preep, and prue, a nerdle, a nerd, and a seersucker, too.
It's quite a collection.
I'll hunt in the jungles of Hippomohungus. I'll bring back a flock of Bippomobungus. Bippomobungus from Hippomopungus are better than those from the Dipponodungus. They're smarter than those of the Nipponodungus, and I'll catch them at Hippomohungus instead of those in Nungus or Dungus. And the people will say, when they see these bips bounding, "The zookeeper, the new keeper, is simply astounding. He travels so far you'd think he would stop. Drop. When do you think this young fellow will stop?" I did that pretty good.
You did.
For never ever seeing this book before. That's pretty good. We have them, but I don't read them, hey? Stop! Well, I should. But I won't stop until I've captured a frism, a wisdom, a dill, the world's largest bird from the island of Guark. It only needs pine trees and bits out of the bark. And oh boy, when I get him back to my park, the whole world will say the young McGrew made his mark. He's built a zoo better than Noah's whole ark, and this wonderful, marvelous beast that he chooses made him the greatest of greatest McGrewses. Well, they'll cheer. Well, they'll chill. What this zoo would be worth. The gall darndest zoo on the face of the earth.
That looks like a pretty interesting place to be.
Yes, that's what I'd do, said young Gerald McGrew. I'd make a few changes if I ran the zoo.
What kind of changes would you
Puppies.
make? Just all puppies?
And they get inoculations. It'd be all puppies all the time.
And inoculations?
Not inoculations all the time. We get puppy inoculations. That's where they lick your face. That's
I
science.
thought maybe people would have to get a needle to go and see all your puppies at your puppy zoo.
No. They don't have to get a needle.
No. But an inoculation?
They don't have to get an inoculation, but we'll get our puppies inoculated so that they don't get sick. We get more puppies. If we had puppies, we wouldn't need inoculations. That's science.
That is not science.
100% science.
A lot of people have puppies and they still needed to get inoculations.
I got nothing.
Correct.
I think if you have a puppy, the puppy just lick away all the bad stuff.
No, that
puppy.
doesn't
They
work.
say a puppy's tongue is healing, Miss Christie, and it's true. Because when I feel sad and a puppy licks my face, my heart mends.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know, puppies can heal your heart.
They can heal my heart.
Yeah.
That's it.
But
that's why. And I'm just telling you, if you had a puppy, you don't need a doctor.
That's
That's
not
science.
true.
That's a sign of science.
That's not true.
It's
not science.
Okay, what's it called when you're walking along and a dog walks beside you without being asked? What's that called?
Heel.
It's called healing. Puppies heal. I rest my case, Your Honor. High five, Tazzy. Over note, stamp, no erases. Science. Hey, everybody. There you go. A silly bitty book. Silly Billy book. Pardon me. With some pictures I couldn't show, actually, because I forgot that. Because it was written a long time ago before people understood the social conscience and how some drawing some people was that. So that's why I put my fingers over some of the pictures. So that's it. That's what I did. They just have to rewrite it and then draw different pictures. That's all.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah. Oh my gosh, everybody! How long have we been going on? 3 weeks. There you go. 27 minutes, 58 seconds. 27:59 seconds. 28 minutes right there. So there you go. I have to go get something to eat. Miss Christie has to go figure out. What was that?
I think it was one of your beard hairs.
Please don't. I'm trying to read. I just want to say good. Would you please? I just want to. Why do you do that? There you go. Miss Christie's just being silly. No, how did you do my eyebrows too? Hey everybody. I will be reading tomorrow night, but I will not be reading Sunday night. And I'm glad that you had time to pop in and read. And I'm sorry it's a little bit late. There you go. Some of those things look like the elves that leave. I gotta put my glasses on. That didn't help. Some of those things look like the elves that leave plants at our backyard and ribs on your kitchen counter. I'm thinking there might be ribs on our kitchen counter. That's from our neighbor, Albert, who's pretty awesome. And that's it. Good night, everybody. Yes, I think it's time to say good night. It's already 8:01. So you know what that means? 1 minute after 8. That's what that means.
Profound.
I know. Profound. I'm good at finding stuff. I'm a profound. There you go, everybody. I had a knock joke I wanted to tell you, and I can't remember what it was. It was a pretty funny one. Oh, what do you call somebody that has doesn't have a body or a nose? Nobody knows. That's a dad joke. That's a good one right there. Good night, everybody. I'll sing my song, and then this will be over, and you can get on with doing what you're going to do. Have yourself a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow. Albert, I will be I'll be over in a couple minutes and say hello. How's that? Good night, all my friends. Good night. Good night, all my friends. Good night. I got a stuffy nose, so it's not sounding good. Do you see it? I got a stuffy. Because you were rubbing my beard on my face. I think I'm allergic to my beard.
Uh-oh.
May your dreams be cheery and your dreams be bright. Good night, all my friends, good night. Sleep tight, all my friends, sleep tight. Sleep tight, all my friends, sleep tight. May your dreams be so silly till the morning light. Good night, all my friends, good night. Yep. I'm gonna have to get a puppy. Lots of love from Miss Christie and I. Miss Christie's very silly today, so it's a good time to ask for a puppy.
No puppy.
I hope you get a puppy, says
no puppy.
Justin. It does say puppy. We should get a puppy.
No puppy.
You know what we should get instead of a puppy?
What?
2 puppies.
No puppies!
Oh, she said maybe. Maybe 5 puppies.
No puppies!
Okay, 3 it is.